A heated moment at Hillary Clinton's rally in Fort Lauderdale tonight. The candidate confronting a protester who was holding up a sign reading, quote, "Bill Clinton is a rapist."
I love this country. I think we already are great. Now I think we can be greater. And you know, I am sick and tired of the negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision and behavior of people who support Donald Trump. And you know, I am sick and tired of the negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision and behavior of people who support to say no. We are not going backwards. We're going forward into a brighter future.
That man was escorted out by police. A heated moment at Hillary Clinton's rally in Fort Lauderdale tonight. The candidate confronting a protester who was holding up a sign reading, quote, "Bill Clinton is a rapist." Website InfoWars has offered protesters $5,000 to do this sort of thing. Here to discuss, CNN political commentator Corey Lewandowski, former campaign manager for Donald Trump, political commentator Kayleigh McEnany, a Trump supporter, Van Jones, a former Obama administration official, and Brad Jenkins of Funny or Die DC, who also served under President Obama. Thank you all for joining us. So that was what I wanted you guys to react to earlier, the two panelists who were here earlier. Van, but I'm going to start with you. What do you think of how she handled that?
Well, I think she handled it as well as you can. You know, we are 7 days away. Tempers are flaring, nerves are tight, and I think she handled it as well as you can. Part of the thing when you're in a situation like that, if you don't respond, you're kind of letting the guy interrupt and get a lot of airtime. If you do respond, you are maybe giving him an even bigger spotlight. But I think her supporters want to see her push back, and so they pushed back. She did push back.
She did. Corey, what did you think of her response?
Look, I think, and I've said this when Donald Trump was in the middle of a rally, I thought that, there is a time and a place for people to protest, and there's usually a dedicated area for that to do, for those people to do that. I think when a candidate rents a facility out, then they should have the right to, have their people come there and be able to peacefully watch, and participate in the political process. And I think that, there is a place for this. Usually it's outside the venue. It's usually a designated area. Look, I don't think there's a reason for it, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's necessary.
I agree with Corey about the time and the place entirely, but the one frustration I have with Hillary Clinton is trying to paint all Donald Trump supporters this way. We're all deplorable. We're all irredeemable. Meanwhile, there's plenty of violence on the other side. The homeless woman, 64 years old, who was literally pushed to the ground. The video went viral. Leftist protesters tearing up her signs and throwing them on her. The Republican office that was firebombed.
You didn't see anyone there doing that. You didn't, and I was surprised that no one grabbed it. They just kind of let it happen. And I've seen rallies, and not just pointing out on Donald Trump's side, but where the people, supporters, grabbed them, right, and yanked their signs and beat them up. You didn't see that this time, and I was surprised that didn't happen. I was actually glad it didn't happen because we don't need violence. So what do you think of that, Brad? What do you think of her response?
Yeah, look, I thought her response was admirable. I mean, to be honest, being on here speaking for millennials, this is a distraction. I don't think that some guy running in there with a sign really represents what most Americans care about. They care about putting food on the table, making ends meet, and voting in 7 days. So I think we just want to focus on the issues from here on out.
It does speak to the issues that we have been discussing, especially when it comes to the emails and to the Clinton Foundation and to all of these things. So, it may not be one of the main issues, but it's certainly an issue that Americans are talking about, especially the violence that have happened at rallies. Yeah.
Look, I agree with you, Don, in the following respect. This is the first election in my lifetime where you have the presidency on the line, you have the House on the line, you have the Senate on the line, you have the Supreme Court explicitly on the line, and the character of the country on the line. All of these things are going to be voted on in 7 days. And so, and different people see it different ways. Some people see, the rowdy side of the left. Some people see the rowdy side of the right. But how people make sense of what you are going to get with a Trump presidency or a Clinton presidency, the character of the country, the character of their movements, I think is very relevant.
And here's also why it's important, because Secretary Clinton is making character a key part of her closing argument. Let's watch this.
Putting a wife to work is a very dangerous thing. When I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof. Grab him by the and when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
More accusers coming forward to say they were sexually assaulted.